DRS is to retire its iconic Class 37 locomotives. New East Linton station opens for passengers after 60 years. Greater Angler's regional train saves thousands of litres of diesel a year. The first night jet connects Berlin, Brussels and Paris. Freightliner calls on the government to set an ambitious rail freight target. And my little Henry on his travels has been asking his daddy, what viaduct is this? And back before the new year, someone also asked me to find out a little bit more information about what's happening with the new Class 93 locomotives.
And also to come up on the Rail Roundup, Simon updates. We have a 60 seconds of your turn to find out what you've been getting up to on and off the rails. We have Where's Phil and who's won photo of the show.
Yes, Papa Simon is on the way with some great information with everything else that we're going to jam pack into this show. And I've got a little quiz coming up for you later on where you've got to guess the logo or the livery of some passenger operators in this country. But let's go back to the Class 37. My lovely 37's. Couldn't even get my words out. I am that gutted with DRS. How rude and how dare you. But no, it's been on the cards for a long time where DRS have been wanting to get rid of their Class 37's, the heritage locomotives of the fleet, for quite some time. It has been bouncing around, hasn't it, around the news that they want to get rid of them, trying to sell them or put them into warm storage here, there and everywhere. But time has come now that they want to modernise their fleet and bring themselves into a more environmentally friendly situation. The decision comes as part of DRS's commitment to the environment, fleet modernisation and adapting to evolved operational needs. And since their introduction, the Class 37's have played a vital role in DRS's operations, from nuclear fast trains to freight services, even snow clearing. They've become synonymous, a distinctive presence on our UK rail network. What is important, DRS are extending their deepest gratitude to the dedicated rail enthusiast community whose passion and support have made those 37's become a cultural icon, the tractors as they are affectionately known as, earning a special place in the hearts of enthusiasts, and contributions to the rail heritage will always be remembered. And if you do remember, there was a certain point in time when I started doing these videos more often where Northern were running Class 37's as passenger services from Preston all the way to Barrow and Finesse. In fact, I think they went further than that into Carlisle. Now, this decision to retire the 37's is driven by the need to modernise their fleet, embrace their newer technologies that are available, and meeting the environmental and operational challenges of the future to come. This move aligns with DRS's commitment to providing efficient and sustainable rail services. And along the West Coast Main Line, you could tell that the DRS's 37's were definitely a strong presence, as they were part of the Nuclear Transport Solutions Services, which was a subsidiary, I never said a word right, of the Nuclear Decommissioning Authority. But to you and I, the enthusiast, they were the nuclear flash trains. Now obviously all operators and anything in any industry are all looking towards making themselves a lot more efficient for the environment. Saves costs, of course, and that's fundamentally the most important thing, especially when penny pinching is important right now. Now according to DRS, the Class 37s currently operated by them will be sold through a competitive tendering process, as with the previous locomotives that were offered for sale, and they are 37407, 419, 422, 424, which I'm very familiar with, 425 and 716. Now last month, a new railway station in East Linton that cost 15 million squiddles joined our network.
Hello, I'm Alex Hines, Managing Director of Scotland's Railway. Today I'm in East Linton, East Lothian with the Scottish Government's Transport Minister Fiona Hislop. We're here to celebrate the opening of the new station and the introduction of ScotRail and TransPennine Express services to and from East Linton Station. From today, commuters will be able to travel into Edinburgh Waverley and have direct access to the East Coast Main Line for services to Dunbar and Berwick-upon-Tweed and Newcastle. This £15 million station is part of the Scottish Government's ongoing investment programme in Scotland's Railway, connecting communities to opportunities and, in the case of East Linton, turning back time and reconnecting it to the railway after 59 years. With an attractive, stressless journey time to Edinburgh of around an average of 22 minutes as opposed to over 40 minutes by car in the off-peak, I expect these new services to be very popular. Today is another Scotland's Railway success story. This is our third new station and services in the last 18 months, Reston and Inverness being the other two. Remarkable achievements and an investment of some £50 million by the Scottish Government. Rail offers many benefits, and this new station for East Linton is another step forward on our journey to net zero on Scotland's Railway.
It was myself and Dr. Ralph Jordanson who formed the group back in 1996, and we've campaigned vigorously since then to have the station opened, and here we are. A wonderful day for us and for everyone to use the station.
Now Greater Anglia are excited because they're going to save thousands of litres. Right, a little bit of European news now. I'm quite interested on this one actually. It's expansion of the Trans-European services, where they're trying to connect more cities in Europe by rail, which is of course fantastic. They reckon in the future that'll be more of a plane, they reckon in the future that'll be more of a feature than people actually going by plane. It'll be quicker. I believe it is quicker going from Paris to Spain, isn't it, on the train than it is to fly at the moment. Anyway, according to these guys, it's an important contribution to a Green Deal partner railways, 3 times a week to Brussels and Paris, for €34.90. Now passengers can enjoy relaxed overnight travel to major European cities while saving on hotel accommodation. Starting in December, the night train allowance of DB, OBB, OBB, that's Swiss, isn't it? Tell me in the comment section down below. Deutsche Bahn, we know that one. NMBS, no idea. SNCB, is that French? Spanish. SNCF is French. Oh God, here we go. He's offering night train services from Berlin to Brussels and Paris. You'll know this better than me. Please explain down below. The Nightjet train runs 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Fridays. The train returns from Paris to Brussels and Berlin on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. The first Nightjet was seen off on this trip from Berlin back in December by the German, Belgian, French and Austrian, there you go, I think it's just been explained on it, transport ministers and the CEO of the 4 participating rail companies. The new services is the latest milestone in a successful partnership between the European railways, which in 2020 had set themselves the goal of establishing environmentally friendly rail connectivity at night. Whew. Let's go back to freight here in good old Blighty and talk about Freightliner. Freightliner, it's difficult to get up-to-date news on the freight industry really. It's mainly the train operating companies with the passengers that I get information from, or Network Rail, which is very much to do with the maintenance and the upgrades and the engineering side, which I actually really quite enjoy the engineering side more than ever these days. But with the freight side, there is some more news that they will be discussing with the government about how to increase rail freight volumes. Sort of, how can I put this in English terms? Supporting the module shift, I think they've called it. I'll have to read it in a second. To support the delivery of UK rail freight and get down to zero greenhouse gases. I mean, these are all the obligations that will be fired towards the rail freight industry. No doubt there'll be balloons and bunting all about it, especially rail freight. And they've been calling on the British government to try and put something like a timetable in place. I think it's 2050, which does seem like a long time off, but it's to give them enough time to get everything in place, because they've given short times before today with other projects, not mentioning their names. It just hasn't happened. Like with electric cars and stuff, I suppose. It gets delayed and delayed and delayed. Now, it's an ambitious target. It's a clear target that they want to set together with the government, and they want to also try and, I think their now works try and boost the confidence of the rail freight industry to attract more private investment and use, to be able to get these rail freight depots more active and more open, to introduce more freight, various amounts of freight on our network. Obviously with the introduction, be kind, with HS2, whenever that happens, it will open up a lot more rail freight opportunities, especially during the day, to move products and stuff all around the country. Now they reckon, I'll have to read this now because I'm losing my train of thought, but they reckon that rail freight will mean over 20 million heavy goods vehicle journeys will be removed, and that's over that time frame period, from busy motorways each year, reducing carbon emissions by 2.5 million tonnes of carbon dioxide. That's the equivalent of someone flying around the world 300,000 times.
Isn't that a fast train?
Now, only 9% of our railways is used by the rail freight industry, from containers, they go to deep sea ports, the inland terminal centres, you know, with the module containers. There's construction, there's minerals, aggregates, cement. We don't see coal as much as we used to, did we? So there's obviously a gap that's opening there in the market to be able to move other things around the country. And they reckon that each rail freight train can move up to 129 HGVs off our roads. I'm going to check the details on here. Yes, 129 HGVs from British roads, with container trains we moved up to 52 HGVs for each tonne of rail freight moved by rail instead of road. Carbon emissions are reduced by 76% using an electric locomotive, and it says there is a clear route to net zero emissions as the national grid is slowly decarbonised. Now, as I say, to make this a reality, Freightliner is calling on the government to support the rail freight industry in 3 primary areas. Half-track access charges that freight operators pay to run the trains on the network, which I am all for that. Double the model shift grant that businesses can access to support using the rail. So it's a bit like the farming industry has grants. Many industries do get grants from the government. Get the money from the government. Get it into rail freight, because it will help. It will help the environment at the end term, won't it? Obviously business as well. Keep investing in the rail network to ensure there is sufficient capacity on the busy rail corridors to enable more rail freight to be timetabled, to slot in those rail freight trains. It's funny actually, because in a lot of countries, I think, is it America and Australia, rail freight is primary. They get basically the primary slot on the rail network. Passengers are second class, you know, whereas in this country it's the other way around. Passengers is first class priority, rail freight is second. Maybe there should be a par depending on what has to be moved around the country, who knows. Maybe one day you'll be sat on an Azuma or a Lumo perhaps, and waiting for a rail freight to pass you. You don't know, do you? But it's very possible. But yeah, it's great news, and I'm all for seeing more freight. Not because from an enthusiastic point of view, seeing more rail freight on the railways, giving it another dimension, a fresher dimension, because it has been lost over years. But it is definitely better for business, definitely better for this country, and of course, it's good for the environment. Comment last month asking what's going on with the Class 93s. I was kind of keeping up to date with the Class 93s. I'll just read you some basic information about 90. If you don't know about 93s, I'm going to read this. It's still classed as a British Rail 93 that's built by Stadler Rail in Valencia, and it's like an evolvement of the Class 88 bi-mode locomotive, which was built by the same company, which was for direct rail services. Now, 3 different power sources can be used by a tri-mode train. I'll read it from here now. They've got 5,400 horsepower, 4,000 kilowatts, that's 25 kilovolts, fizzy knitting, which is alternative current fizzy knitting power. Or they've got the 900 kilowatts, which is 1,200 horsepower from memory. I've only got basic details here. Then we've got a diesel engine supplemented by a 4,000 kilowatt, or they've got a battery which they reckon is 540 horsepower battery, allowing the locomotives to be used both on electrified and non-electrified. They've seen this more often. They're talking about it so much more, aren't they now? Bi-mode, tri-mode trains. Rail Operations Group have ordered 30 locomotives, and there is possibility for more to be ordered across the network, with the first delivery scheduled for 2023. Now, these locomotives will be perfect for rail freight to get net zero by 2050. Perfect for introducing more with the rail freight sector, like rail freight we're talking about before. The first 10 of these tri-mode 93s have been made. You're going to have to help me on this, and if you know more, by all means, comment down below. But they came over here, is it in July, to the workshop depot? I know there's on Your Railway Community, there's a chap called Alex caught them testing on the first 93s, which is marvellous to see, fantastic to see. Right, let's catch up with my old pal, Blackpool Simon, who's awfully joining me on jaunts with his good lady Cassidy doing spookies. If you're not joining the paranormal channel, please do. It's the old channel, it's still Nodrog. Go and join us on there and go watch what our shenanigans that we get up to. But of course he works for TPE, and he's got some news for us while he's sat comfortably at home.
Hi folks, just he's playing guitar. Nodrog carried out a bit of a quite a big feat of engineering with regards to the Transport Line route upgrade. Murfield received a bit of TLC with regards to preparation for the new track laying. So the bay platform at Murfield was basically cut in half. Part of the platform was removed, and the track was slewed across just to make it a bit more straight. This is to prepare for the new line that will be placed for the new flyover that will be built at Ravensthorpe. With regards to Huddersfield itself, he loves playing this game. He puts his ball here and plays. Thank you. With regards to Huddersfield, what was the station buffet waiting room and the toilet is now being prepared to be removed. I'll include a photo of this. They've put a hoarding up around it, and various things are happening at Huddersfield now. The front of the station, the car park to the right hand side of the station has now been closed up, and has been moved to the opposite side of the station. This is for the engineering team to have access to the station easier. I know east of Leeds, they are gearing up for the next phase of the overhead wire instalment between Church Fenton and Micklefield, so that should be gearing up shortly. that's it really for the route upgrade for Transpennine. Biggest news from my end, I'm happy to announce, is that we'll be moving Cassidy, my wife, will be moving to Glasgow shortly. So I've applied for a transfer within Transpennine Express, and they've accepted. Just waiting for a date as to when this will happen. Keep an eye on Twitter and the various avenues as usual, and we'll announce it when I get a date shortly. So yeah, that's my big news, is that I will be transferring depots. I'm going to be moving to Glasgow. So yeah, it's somewhere where we've wanted to be for a long time, and yeah, it's something we're going to do as things have been moved around, and it's allowed us to make the move. So we're going to do it now. So keep an eye out. I'll make an announcement with regards to when it's happening. So that's it for me for this week, or for this time, for this roundup. Who knows when the next one will be, but watch your space, and we'll keep you informed with regards to what's happening next. So take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Right, as Henry was coming back off a little holiday with his mum, I was working over Christmas a lot with Every, delivering parcels. That is brutal. Have you ever worked for them or anything similar? Cracky almighty, it's hard work, isn't it? I did meet them, I did go up and meet them, but when he was driving home, he asked Daddy, what is this viaduct?
Daddy, which viaduct is this? Thanks.
Yes, Henry, well this viaduct is in Chorley. Clitheroe. It's in Clitheroe, not Chorley. Yes, it's in Clitheroe. Well, it's near Clitheroe. It's actually called Wally Viaduct. I think it was built in 1850, and it's like a red brick type of viaduct. I used to know how long it was, because I'm sure someone said it was very similar length to Ribblehead Viaduct. They've put it down, it's not as impressive, but at least because it is longer, taking the Blackburn to Clitheroe Railway across the valley of the River Calder, close to the border of Lancashire and Yorkshire. Magnificent setting under the shadow of Pendle Hill, which I've done a video on the Spooky channel. Just saying. It's over 600 yards long and 70 feet above the valley. The viaduct, known locally as Wally Arches, required 6 million bricks, over 12,000 cubic yards of stone to complete. During the construction of 2 arches collapsed, leading to 3 fatalities. The engineer was Terence Wolf Flanagan, who later constructed the railways between Antwerp and Rotterdam, and between Lisbon and Santarém. Now, it was closed to most passengers in 1962, but it was just kept open to freight and occasionally passenger diversions due to track maintenance elsewhere until 1994, where the public campaign insisted that the viaduct was to be reopened to help you get through to Hellifield and onwards. So yeah, next time you're travelling along the A59, just have a look, you'll see it. The Wally Viaduct is a great structure, and when the sun is setting over here in Blackpool, as it always does in this beautiful part of the world, and the light comes casting across, and you'll see yourself a train going, a northern set going across there. Yeah, it does make it very... That's my bread machine. I'm making a dough to do some bread. Right, hang on a minute. Typical, that's beeping its bottom off. Right, there we go, some fresh bread. Looking forward to that. Lost my train of thought. Yes, should we find out what you've been getting up to? On Off the Rails with a Yourturn.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, कैसे हैं जी आप सब? ठीक ठाक है। 9042 के साथ 502 डाउन। ये ट्रेन है जी माल गाड़ी पार्सल। पहले आपको एक्सप्रेस गाड़ियाँ दिखाते रहे, अब आपको दिखा रहे हैं जी माल गाड़ी। तो इसको दिखाने का मकसद ये है कि आप ये देखें कि ये ट्रेन पैसेंजर ट्रेन के मुकाबले में चलती है और ये जहाँ से जाती है थ्रू पास होती है। अब ये मेन लाइन से पास हो रही है, थ्रू पास हो रही है, आगे से इस यहाँ पे स्टॉप नहीं है। जबकि यहाँ पे ये देख रहे हैं यार्ड है और ये जो बाकी गाड़ियाँ होती है वो यार्ड में जाती हैं, जबकि ये यार्ड में नहीं जाती, ये टापा थ्रू चलती है। अब ये सीधा जाके रोड स्टे करेगी ना।
Yes, thank you for submitting your content there to the Facebook page, the York Railway community. Let's do this one. I did this for Christmas, but I didn't get a chance to complete the video because I was incredibly busy. But it is a TOC question quiz type thing. Yeah, put your answers in the comment section area down below. It's just a bit of fun for you all on there. Where's Phil? Has anyone found Phil? Yes, last time Phil was in Central Wales in Aberystwyth, if I pronounced that right. Hopefully I did. But where is he this time? Put the answers in the comment section area down below, and let's find out who's going to win this episode's of Photo Edition. Brilliant stuff, well done, thank you very much. That is actually a fantastic picture. Very cinematic, artistic, what's the word? Very pretty, very good. Philip, you said if it wasn't for you, I'd have no idea about the smart ticketing service at my station in Truro. Happy days, I've put down. I'm glad to be of service to someone. If it's only helped one person, then hey, I've done my job. And that's what we try and do with the stories here. If you want me to try and cover a story, by all means, put it in the comment section area down below. Either Sam and I will try and feedback on that for you and tell you what's going on. Hopefully the new year will bring some more heritage trains on our network, more than ever so. Not too sure what's going on with the government's ideas regards to automatic locking doors. I know West Coast Railways does the Jacobite or the Harry Potter train. Someone's asked me about that recently. I haven't read into that at the moment. I'm not sure there's going to be special dispensation for those or what, I don't know. But if it does come into state where they want it to be a real feature on these older coaching stocks on the main line, not necessarily the heritage lines, then it'd be very interesting to see what happens, because it will, I think, detrimentally cut back on a lot of heritage services, and only the big boys will be able to fund it. I'm not saying West Coast Railway isn't, but it is all down to money and investment, and how much will it cost to do all those coaches? If you know more, please put it in the comment section area down below. Andrew Gwilt, he's always putting stuff on the Facebook page. Your Railway Community has posted about Stadler, saying that for the Stadler 755 for Greater Anglia is named the most reliable train in the UK. I really do like that set. Obviously I'm a Northern fan, I have to be because I live in Blackpool, but I really wish that they didn't get the CAF units. I think Greater Anglia pulled a brilliant stunt by getting those Class 755s. They look and sound the part, and if they were cascaded all over the network, I think that would have made a massive difference. Damn sight happier train. Okay, I'm not knocking the CAF units, but you know, I think the 755s win you on that one. I'm not too sure if this has elapsed, but West Somerset Railway are delighted to announce the presence of BR Standard Class 4MT Locomotive 80064 to gift it to the West Somerset Railway Association. That's some news on that. If I found a link, I'll put in the link in the description area down below. Just covering this one as well, we've got final spacious 100 million of C2C trains set to enter service in 2024. Maybe that's something I could cover next time, because they're building the new 720 trains, aren't they, for them. GWR to reinstate the Bristol Temple Meads Oxford. Is it Oxford Road station on that one? Again, Andrew, you've posted on that, which is really good that you've chased up on that one. And there is Alex thumbnail as regards his super rare 93001 with 37901 in 4K. Again, I'll put the link in the description area down below, and someone get some information or show me some pictures of the Flying Scotsman that was due to leave Shildon sometime at the beginning of the year, was it, or the end of the year? That'd be really great if we can find out more about that. Of course, it's just as much your show as what it is mine. I really do appreciate your support. I'm going to ask you kindly, if you want to join us on the Patreon or the membership, it's only £1 a month. It kind of helps fund these channels, puts a little bit of money together for me to be able to do these little things now and again, and hopefully I might be able to squeeze maybe another one in next month in February. Fingers crossed. No pressure. Before I go, I'm going to plug the paranormal channel again. We did go to Ribblestein Railway, where fantastic staff of Ribblestein Railway looked after us one night to do a spooky. It was an incredible night. We had a massive gale kicking off. It was rattling the rafters all around us. We had all these heritage locomotives. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and we can't wait to go back and do a follow-up video on that as well. That was the Ribble Steam Railway spooky special that we did for Christmas, which is in the link area down below. I think we're all done and dusted. Thank you to Simon, thank you to Phil, thank you to everybody who's contributed into this rail roundup. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and join us on Patreon as well. And until next time, I either see you on the other side or it's ta-ra. Cheers. Well, thank you, Martin, for joining us on the Ribble Steam Railway as well. And Paolo. Was Paolo, wasn't it? Not yeah, Paolo. You get the idea. See you later. Ta-ra.